mascot of an evil corporation.
Barely keep that together. It was. Can you even whistle? It just sounded like. What are you even trying to whistle? Maybe I can help.
I don't do it if I'm laughing, can I? Welcome to the Sunday Movie Marathon. I'm Max.
I'm Steamboat Willie.
And this is episode 83. The one.
80 something.
One with 80 and 3 in the title. Wow. How is everyone?
Yeah. Doing good.
I like how is just always our response. Like yeah, we're cool. Yeah.
Living the dream.
Yeah. Me and Darcy got back from Cornwall yesterday. Saw 9 Inch Nails 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Nice. How
we
were they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. I don't remember a lot of the first night, to be honest.
Darcy was drunk out of her fucking mind. Smashed.
I was something, alright.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. They obviously we saw them twice and both sets were basically completely different. There were only 3 songs they played at both nights and every other song was completely different, which was a lot of fun. The first night felt like the night where they played all the big singles, and then the second night was just basically all deep cuts.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be like the other way around because there was way more people on Saturday. Not that you really noticed it.
Saturday sold out originally, whereas Friday didn't.
Yeah, and it was just, but it was like night and day. Like one day was just like super sunny, and it was just like dry and vibey.
Nice.
Then the next day was like grungy and very
rainy.
Yeah, very rainy. Like rain non-stop. I think it stopped for like 15 minutes at most, and then just carried on again.
Yeah, I feel bad for anyone who isn't a huge 9 Inch Nails fan and only went on the Saturday.
Yeah.
If you wanted to hear Closer, you'd be very disappointed.
Yeah. But if you wanted to hear Hurt, you can hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. But yeah. It was a great time. Yeah. We stayed in a yurt. Met some lovely people. Yeah.
How was that? How was the yurt?
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Yeah. So we went up with there's a couple that me and Chris have been talking to, and they booked this yurt for their mates to stay in with them, but then they went to Isle of Wight or something instead. So we went, and it was just like a double bed in the middle, and then 2 singles on either side, and it was such
massive,
a nice. It was such a nice,
really big.
nice yurt. Yeah, you had your own kitchen, you had your own bathroom, you had 8 dogs, a whole bunch of chickens. I'm not even going to talk about. No, I'm not even going to talk about the geese
in the yurt.
No, around it.
Yeah.
No, not geese.
Yeah, Darcy was excited about the geese and was looking at them, and one of them just started screaming and came after her. Obviously, it was behind a fence.
Dreams were shattered.
Yeah, it was behind a fence, so it couldn't have actually got her.
All of you were just laughing at me, and I was
was funny.
What the fuck is this geese trying to do?
There was a dog called Henry, was it?
Yeah, Henry.
Who ran out and made friends with everyone.
Yeah.
He was cute.
I got to admit though, big shout out to that for Ed and Anne for letting us stay with them, because that was big ball energy, man.
Cheers, Ed and Anne, for your big balls.
Yeah. And driving everywhere. You name the weather except snow, it probably happened.
That's awesome.
It was a crazy fucking weekend.
I saw the chickens in the chat.
Who put the chickens?
In our group chat.
Wow.
They living the dream.
They were really fucking loud as well.
They were making
it's
ungodly noises. It was
unintelligible noises.
That's what it was like when I went to Wales. Was it last month now? And
did you say there was sheep or something?
The sheep near our tent were on that last night. It was horrendous. It was like a man who crawled out from his house, from his home, or in a cave, and gone into a field where sheep should have been, and just covered himself in mud and just howled some some unholy demonic shit,
That is
just like
literally
from
what
the bottom of his throat.
That is literally what these chickens sounded like, because they got is it like the roosters? They've got like 3 roosters and they keep going.
Nice.
Oh,
They didn't even sound like chickens. They actually just sounded like people, like making really weird screams.
I remember there was one point where I went to the toilet and then I came back and I actually like made like a weird noise and Anne went, "Was that the chickens?" And I was like, "No, it was me." And I just walked past, I was like, like a fucking pterodactyl. God, I never want to stay anywhere with a chicken ever again.
A very specific contingency there.
I mean, I guess it's the first and last time I've stayed with a chicken next to my bedroom, so.
Yeah. Not a fan. Wouldn't do it again.
No, it wasn't fun being woken up at like 5 a.m. by screaming.
Yeah, screaming chickens, not screaming people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Should try living here. You hear that? Just constantly.
Like North End crackheads.
It's more like the foxes. And the crackheads.
Oh yeah, the foxes make ungodly
Well,
noises
not-
also.
My area is not cracky.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll not say that.
Nah, actually.
Like here, right here, outside my house. I don't
with
think
the
so.
window open.
Yeah. What you have to do now, otherwise you boil alive in your bed and die.
We're not gonna get beaten.
So how have you been, Max?
Living the dream.
Yeah.
I went in the sea the other day. Loved the sea. Went in it. Lovely. It's what you want to do in the summertime. I went in December. Disgusting. And then we went to Wetherspoons and I couldn't feel my feet. But now it's feeling your feet summer. That's what we're calling it. Feeling your feet summer. And that's what it's going to be called. I'm up for it. I can't wait. It's not
Nice.
even like officially summer yet, but I can feel it in my feet.
Yeah,
I
But it's
can
gonna be a
feel
good
it
one.
in my feet.
It's gonna
feels
be a
like
good one.
summer, just like that Weezer song.
Just like that Childish Gambino Weezer song collab.
Hell yeah. I need someone to make that happen.
Awesome. Of course, I've also been working, and the shame of it all,
Have you been
was that I
sweating to
couldn't-
death?
yeah, I mean, we had to get like big fans for the office, and but the shame of it all was that I couldn't go with Chris the other day to see the new Gaspar Noe movie that he saw.
Yeah, Vortex. I'm a huge Gaspar Noe movie like fan, so like I was really excited for this new movie because yeah, I just was like excited to see it in the cinema. I hadn't seen any of his films in the cinema before, and this is a very, very different movie for him. It's kind of just like it's a film all about this elderly couple, one of whom is at the beginning, like the early stage, or not even like the early stages, kind of like the later stages, I'd say, of like dementia. She's kind of like, as the days go by, she's kind of losing grip of reality. One day maybe she'll be completely conscious and okay, and then the next day she doesn't know who she is or who her husband is. And the film's all about how their relationship kind of is affected by that, as well as how their relationship with their son is affected by that. It's very interesting the way the film is told, because it's done pretty much entirely like a split screen. It's like one screen is like from the man's perspective, the other one's from the woman's perspective. And I was like, I heard about that and I was like, oh God, that's going to be like, I feel like it's going to be really gimmicky and
Yeah.
maybe it's going to get overcrowded and confusing. And there were definitely points where I did feel like it wasn't necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I thought it was executed really well. And I felt like it genuinely had like real purpose. Pretty much the first hour of the movie is just the two characters like doing their normal chores, just like living day to day, kind of just doing what they would normally do. But it's obvious that the woman is kind of like going through the motions, but doesn't really know what she's actually doing and isn't really in control of herself.
Sounds like Gene Dealman in 3D.
Yeah. It was like really interesting seeing like the contrast in there. For me, I felt like there's definitely some interesting stuff going on, and I do really like the fact that this is Gaspar Noé making something that's very mature. It isn't like some of his other movies where
He's a big baby.
Yeah, like where it's like really violent and sexual and
pest.
incredibly graphic and
Look
like
at what I'm
intentionally
turned on by.
shocking. Like this isn't like that film Lovey did, where half of it's literally just porn, and there's like a scene where he like shoves his dick in front of the camera, and
Yeah.
it's not like that. It's like genuinely really serious and slow and mature, and I really liked that. Apparently this is like the first film he's made where he's not been fucked on drugs. Apparently he's completely clean and sober now because he almost died, and this film's kind of like inspired by that. It reminds me quite a lot of Mikhail Haneke's Amor and that film The Father from last year.
When you were describing the plot, I was like, that's like The Father, or like what I would imagine Amor to be like.
And I think that's probably my biggest problem with the movie, is that it doesn't really do anything I didn't see in those two movies, apart from like the split screen aspect. And there's like this storyline where they're kind of, it seems like it's almost trying to be like this statement on drugs, like how some people use it like recreationally and it like can destroy their lives, whereas other people are like completely dependent on it. Like how this woman, she's on loads of drugs to kind of keep herself alive almost, and like their son's like an ex-heroin addict or something, and he's like a drug dealer, and it felt like they were trying to say something there, but it was like really, really unsubtle, and I don't think it really worked that well. I really loved the first and third act, but the second act, where it like goes much more into that drug sort of side, was where it kind of lost me a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird you say that. I wouldn't have thought that would have been a kind of subplot in that sort of movie.
Yeah, and I don't even have a problem with that. I think it could have been executed well, and it could have actually like made the film something different than just that kind of like aging, like dementia sort of thing that we saw in like Amor or The Father. But yeah, I just don't think it's really that well handled. But,
yeah, that's a shame. It sounds a bit like Irreversible in that kind of like split screen kind of gimmicky way, where like Irreversible is like, it's going for a gimmick. And I loved it, but I hated it. But yeah, I don't know what I would get from that sort of thing. I guess I would have to see it to believe it.
I would definitely recommend it. If you like Gasper Noe, I definitely recommend it. Yeah. It's one of my least favourites of his, but I definitely think there's a lot of interesting stuff in there, and it doesn't go completely without merit. I did like the movie, even if I don't love it as much as like Irreversible or Enter the Void or Climax. Like those are the three that I really love.
Yeah, I love Climax, but I hate Irreversible.
Interestingly enough, the film actually ends with the same ending shot of Irreversible.
Oh my god!
Where like has the upside down city, and like where the camera like goes over the city and then spins upside down. That happens in this as well.
Oh, nice! He brings it back.
Yeah,
back to the classics. Yeah, I would like to check out Vortex at some point. I was upset that I couldn't go. I don't know if they'll release it any time soon around where we are, but
probably not.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. Cool. It's obviously very, very hard going. It's quite upsetting and disturbing at points. Pretty much the whole crowd I was with were old people.
Nice.
And I could tell that they were like really relating to the movie, or like seeing people that they know in the movie, because like pretty much everyone was crying throughout the whole thing. And it is a very sad movie.
I love a sad movie though. Those are my favourite kinds of movies. Ones that just make me cry and be upset around old people.
Yeah.
That's why The Father was so great.
Yeah, it's why I'd recommend it more. That's like probably the most depressing movie I've ever watched. It like really destroyed me.
Yeah, I've got the DVD. I haven't watched it yet for obvious reasons.
It's so good, but it is a lot. You have to be in a particular frame of mind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, am I in the type of mind to watch two old people potentially suffer? I don't know. It's maybe not a Friday night kind of movie.
No.
Who knows? I'll get around to it eventually.
Yeah.
Do you want to give like a rating for Vortex?
Yeah, sure. I give it like a 7 out of 10. It might actually go up on a rewatch. I would definitely check it out again at some point, only because I love Gasper Noe so much, and I think even his lesser movies, I think there's something interesting in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to check out more of his stuff, but I don't know. He's kind of a freaky guy, kind of a creep, but I like what he does a lot of the time. Honestly, and Climax is one of my favorite movies, so
Yeah.
I would check it out at some point. I hope they release it soon around here, or maybe later on physical.
Yeah, you'll probably just have to wait for the Blu-ray.
Yeah, that'll be all right. That's fine. I don't mind that. Cool. Vortex. Next up, we've got some stuff to talk about Disney and some movies that they made back in the day. We're talking about Pinocchio, and Mary Poppins, and also Lady and the Tramp.
Did you just
remakes.
have to check what your pick was?
No,
I think he just.
I have it memorized in my mind brain.
Yeah, I think he just stumbled after Pinocchio.
Is there? Look, man, it's been a long day. You want to harass me here on the podcast? You go ahead. But all right, but I'm trying to keep it moving. So
Yeah.
pre-90s Disney,
Mhm.
when they had not had their renaissance, which was primarily in the 90s, so they sucked. So we picked some movies that suck. Chris picked the first one. What's it about?
Yeah. So my pick was Pinocchio, which is Disney's second ever movie from 1940, directed by Ben Sharpstein and Hamilton Luske. The film is about a toy maker called Geppetto who he's quite upset because he doesn't have anyone apart from his cat and his fish.
Why did you say it like that?
Because it's true. He is upset.
He lives with nobody but his cat.
He's a lonely man.
He builds a little wooden puppet called Pinocchio, and one day wishes that it could become a real boy.
Why did you say become like that?
It's become a real boy. Chris is lost. The podcast has finished now.
Yes.
And then a fairy arrives and brings the boy to life. And he has to become a real boy, he has to prove he's worthy of it. So him and a sidekick called Jiminy Cricket, who is a cricket, they go on an adventure.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like multiple adventures that kind of connect.
It's one of those connection type movies. It is like episodic sort of. It's like, here's a thing that Pinocchio's doing. All right, now here's the next thing that Pinocchio's doing, and it's like little stories, little vignettes that are stitched together. And it could have been like a mini series almost.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a series of books that have been put into like one movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sort of. I guess before we start the conversation, I'd just like to say, Disney suck. Fuck Disney. Fuck Disney so much. I hate them so much. They suck. They have always sucked, and they're an evil, disgusting corporation. Hate them so much.
I swear we say this every single time we talk about Disney.
We just need to get that out of the way before we start swooning over. Anyway, Pinocchio's good. It's a good movie, but I didn't have fun with it. I will tell you that now.
No?
It is not a fun movie for me. I mean, it's just it's horrendously sad and upsetting to watch like this child be abused over and over again, and like it's just like a series of events that like lead to this child being abused over and over again by different people, and then by the end of it, you're like, oh, okay. That was horrible, and it was like happy ending.
It is
a
pretty fucked up.
movie.
Yeah, so fucking weird. Like I remember, did you say you don't remember any of? No, we were talking about that was a different film. I was just thinking about how. Oh man, I mean, I like this film. Yeah, it's just really fucked up. Like I didn't remember it being as like dark as it actually is. If that makes sense. Like I think one of my favorite notes on here is something like, sorry, I'm thinking about the donkey thing again, and I'm so uncomfortable imagining you're begging for help and then you just stuck as a donkey. What the fuck? That's legitimately a note
kids that were just like taking the Pleasure Island, turning into donkeys, swimming like, I don't want to be a donkey. Oh, get me out of here. And then that kid who got turned into a donkey and he was like just braying and like screaming it was, and like nobody helped them or anything, and that's just what they were. And then
they
we're like, all right,
donkeys,
that's that. Fuck those kids. See you later. And then we just got on to the next thing, and it's like those kids are they are still donkeys. It is horrible.
Yeah, I think
it is horrible to watch.
I think that's like the worst part of the film. Actually,
that might have been like the most viscerally upsetting part for me.
Yeah, like it made me kind of, like you just want to crawl out of your own kind of skin. That's how it made me feel. I was like, oh
Pinocchio,
no,
just been born, have you? Here's to being subjected to untold horrors beyond your imagination on your first day of living. And it's like that. It's just him like getting into like horrible shit. Like it's terrifying to watch. And like,
oh, that's
it's just like it starts off. It's terrifying because he's just like a little wooden puppet with no mouth, and then Geppetto makes him walk around, along the fucking floor,
that is so true.
and like crawl along the floor on like his hands and knees trying to chase after the cat, and it's like The Exorcist or some shit, and then like it just gets worse and worse from there on in, and it's like I guess so. I guess we'll just do this. This is a children's movie. Why not?
Yeah, and then you get to that scene with the stereotypical Italian. Is he Italian man?
Yeah.
Who's like, I'm gonna make so much money.
Fucking
Sounds
pupils
like
are like popping out of his head. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm gonna make lots of money, and he's like sniffing like
you under the
knives and shit.
I think one of the things.
So fucking weird.
So this is like one of my favorite Disney movies ever, like
bet it is,
possibly
you
even
little
my
freak.
favorite.
You
I
fucking
think
freak.
one of the things I love about it so much is how dark it is. It's
What?
pretty much a horror movie.
Yeah.
And like I love that about it. It reminds me a lot of those like really old classic fairy tales, because although they were like written for kids, there was like really fucked up dark
Oh, it
shit
reminds me
going
of
on.
that, what's that, like Grimm's Brothers, is it?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Brothers Grimm.
Brothers Grimm, like
Yeah,
their
whatever, you know what I
fairy
meant.
tales.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the Disney movies were kind of like based off of those fairy tales, but they like sanitized them so much and made them like so kid friendly and took out any of the darkness. And although I think that works for those movies, I really love the fact that they didn't do that with this. They do go all out with it. I think that's what makes it the best adaptation of Pinocchio that we've gotten so far, because all the other ones I've seen have made it so like sanitized and child friendly, and there's like no darkness in it at all. It just kind of, it feels really, really light, and it I don't think it fits the
I'd argue
story.
it's creepier though. Like Chris was showing me this
The live action one.
Yeah, the live action one.
Matteo Groen's one.
Pardon?
That came out like recently.
No,
Matteo
no,
Groen.
it's not that one.
Oh no,
no.
there's a.
It was one from the 90s.
Oh my
that was,
god! Do you know what? I'm gonna
alright.
try and find it.
Pinocchio
Max.
was designed
Terrifying.
by the Jim Henson Company.
And you know me, I
Yes,
was
that's
freaked out by puppets.
Jiminy
so...
Cricket as well.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
The fucking cricket.
Look, the cricket's
what? I need
literally
to-
just
right,
a
I'm gonna
real
get it.
looking cricket.
Oh my
Uh-huh.
god! No.
AI, artificial intelligence. That's a good Pinocchio movie. That was a good one. That was kind of creepy.
What? Oh, I don't think I've seen any other Pinocchio films.
Well, AI is not like an official Pinocchio movie, but
Yeah,
it's
basically.
Oh, AI.
yeah.
With Jude Law.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that film.
That's a good movie.
Hold on, let
Yeah.
me find the creepy ass.
Find it. Find it for us.
Well, I've got one of Pinocchio himself, but I don't have one of the cricket for some ungodly reason.
Well, maybe another time. I'm excited for the Guillermo movie. Guillermo
Yeah.
del Toro Pinocchio.
Like, fucking
He's been
look
working
at
on
him.
for like, oh, okay. I don't like that.
No, the cricket's worse. Like, Chris showed it to me and I was just like, I can't do this. What was his name? Jiminy, innit?
Yeah, it's like a gigantic cricket. I'd say.
Oh,
Cool.
no, it's horrible. I need to find it. Do you know what? I wish people could see this. Right, Chris, when you're editing this, I want you to just flash up horrific pictures of both of them.
If
And I
you're on the
can't even-
YouTube, you can maybe
yeah.
not see that because I don't think Chris will do that.
Well,
No, of course not.
you
I'll forget.
should.
Jiminy Cricket was like a player. He was like hitting on all the wooden girls who like in Geppetto's shop. He's like, oh, hey baby, what's going on with you, guy?
What?
And like every time like a girl would like come out of the clock, he'd be like, oh hey, how's it going?
Isn't it that one?
What are you doing?
Yeah, that was it.
Hold on, let me get up the full size picture.
Yeah, it's horrible.
He's got a
Yeah.
little like busker hat thing on as well. Like a little baker boy cap.
He was supposed to teach Pinocchio how to be like
He was
a
supposed to
good
be his
person,
conscience, wasn't he?
but like, he's just like the worst conscience ever.
Yeah, he doesn't
He's like
really care.
constantly losing track of him, so he keeps getting kidnapped. And like he's like, oh Pinocchio, you're supposed to go to school, you idiot. And then he's like, I was gonna go be an actor with this fox that I found, and he's gonna show me how to be an actor. And then
Oh yeah.
Jiminy Cricket's like, why don't you tell him that you can't do that today, but thank you for the opportunity. It's like, what are you talking about? Just fucking leave. Tell him to run away. He's
Yeah,
a stranger danger.
Like he was literally like not even with this Fox anyway because he was talking to him. So why didn't they just go, all right, we'll just
Honest
carry
John.
on going in this direction?
My name's Honest John. You're not Honest John. Go away. Well,
Well, he's
he
gonna
gets
believe
kidnapped
it,
by
isn't
him
he?
not once, but twice in the movie. He's like, didn't you learn your lesson, Pinocchio?
Yeah.
No, I guess not.
No, but he was just born.
He's supposed to know, like...
Right from wrong.
No, but like,
Well, he
what is
doesn't,
it?
to
Like,
be
the
fair.
Blue Fairy was like, you gotta be like something, you gotta be something, you gotta be another something. And it's like,
What was
okay.
it like?
But,
Oh,
like, you gotta be brave,
brave?
and you gotta be, like
Honest?
like
I
a
don't
kid.
know.
He'll be
Yeah.
like, whatever. Yeah. But then, like, he don't feel like, I actually have to get the quote up, otherwise it's not going to make sense. It's like, prove yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish, and you will be a real boy. What
There we
fucking
go.
bullshit is that? None of us had to prove ourselves brave, unselfish, and like, or truthful to become real boys. I'm a real boy.
Yeah.
Think I had to prove myself for that to be a real boy? No.
Yeah, but we were privileged to be born with
Yeah.
human flesh and organs and other horrible things. I bet if we were born as puppets, we'd have to prove ourselves.
I think like being
Probably.
unselfish and truthful are like two like important morals to teach your
Yeah.
kids.
It's like a morals type movie where he should have gone to like, here's a scene where like Pinocchio learns to be brave. All right,
Yeah.
got that. Next scene. This is the scene where he learns to be truthful. All right, here's the next one where he's abused
Yeah.
beyond all imagination. And this is one where he learns to be unselfish and he saves Geppetto and like maybe he sacrifices himself or something, but
Yeah.
he becomes a real boy. That would have been fine, but that doesn't happen.
That kind of happens.
He learns
Kind
not
of.
to underage drink or smoke cigars.
Yeah.
That's
And-
nothing.
And he helps, as I've written here, Pollo get out of the whale. I don't know why I've written
What?
his name like that.
Who's Poyo?
I wrote what because I've forgotten what his name was.
Guess
So I
Poyo.
wrote-
What,
Guess Poyo.
Geppetto?
Yeah, I wrote, how did Pollo get stuck in the whale?
Guess
Yeah.
That's what it says.
How'd he do
Pollo.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did he get stuck in that whale? It was like the only thing I was thinking about after it
He was
finished.
just doing some stuff. Yeah. He just
Like,
felt like
He
it.
fuck around, found out. He just literally went to this whale and went, "I'm gonna
I've got to go find
Pinocchio."
my wooden
My
son
wooden-
who was born last night.
He was gonna be.
I'm going to go to the ocean.
I'm surprised he didn't like get like wood rot or whatever. Like that man was in a lot of water, you know, for a tiny puppet boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
There's a lot
you
happening
say
here.
that, but like I don't think a man could survive in the belly of a whale
He did.
with a cat and a
And a
fish.
fish.
Yeah, but he did it because he was awesome. He waited
Yeah.
till the whale was feeding and then like he'd catch the tuna and he'd be like, "That's awesome. I'm going to make tuna."
I mean, it was pretty cool, but I still don't understand how he managed to do that. Like that bit where they read the letter and Chris goes, "How if he's stuck in the belly of a whale? Has he managed to send a letter out?" And I was like, "Why?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Why are we thinking about these things? Because none of it makes sense."
A lot of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like how did he get there? Why is this puppet boy real? Like, why are we questioning these stupid things?
Geppetto's like, "You're a real boy now, Pinocchio. Go to school." Immediately, he doesn't want to spend a single day like with him and like take him out anywhere. He won't even walk him to school. He won't even tell him where school is. It's
Oh yeah,
"Here's
he's
an
like,
apple.
just go to school.
Go-
Where?
on your way. Be off with you."
What even is school? Like, does
He never
even,
goes to
yeah,
school.
does
He
even know
never
what it
goes to
is?
school. He never makes it. It's like he's like, "Oh, thank God I'm back to my home from like the torture that I've been through. Time to go to school again." And then he gets kidnapped by Honest John again. It's like, "Oh, okay. We're doing this again. We're going to Pleasure Island."
Oh.
Which was just like, yeah, it was a horrifying scene, I think.
yeah,
with-
yeah.
The part in Pleasure Island, and they like all the kids are like smoking, which is like really weird, and it's quite strange to see like kids smoking so much, and there's so much smoking in this movie. I was almost like, this is a kids movie. Like even back in 1940, like what really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know whether that was like a normal thing for kids to do. Not like smoke a lot, but was it more like they could just smoke? Because, you know, there's like no law of the
Pinocchio
land. I
started
don't know.
smoking. His face turned like red and green, and he got like really fucked up on it. Oh my God,
He
what
looked
is
like he was
happening
going to be
here?
sick.
Yeah.
But then if you had a cigar, it's pretty fucking disgusting. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's trying to tell you, like, kids not to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it look cool. It makes it look gross and
Well, yeah,
disgusting.
You'll
because-
turn into a donkey.
yeah, kids
Yeah.
probably thought, oh, if I drink alcohol, I'm going to turn into a donkey. And they probably thought their parents were going to turn into donkeys if they drank as well. Not that I ever got that because I just, do you know what? Don't even remember, to be honest. Like, I had this massive Pinocchio poster in my bedroom, so I must have been obsessed with it at some point in my life, but I don't remember it.
I think as a
It's
kid, I
fucking
just
weird.
thought that they put something in the drinks to make him turn into donkeys.
I thought
I
it
mean,
was the
yeah.
cigars.
No, it was he was talking about loading up the crate, so it must have been something in like the alcohol. But
Might
then
have
it only takes one sip because Pinocchio starts turning into a donkey, but doesn't get all the way there.
No.
Yeah,
But
except
then-
maybe he didn't have enough of it.
Yeah, like, because I swear that kid only took like one sip, but unless it was like the longest sip of all time, I don't know.
No.
I mean, like, it doesn't really fucking matter. I'm literally just getting into like the logistics of how do you turn into a donkey, like how many milliliters of beer do you need?
But that is a really like disturbing
Oh,
sequence.
I hate that.
It's
I
so
hate it
creepy.
so much.
Like that kid turning into a donkey is like pure like body horror shit.
Yeah.
It is, and it's like it's like, I don't know. There's something so like it's like the fear of like, imagine consciously being aware that you are a donkey and you're stuck as a donkey. It's like I saw one of those like horrible pictures once. It was like, imagine you turn into a chair. I was like, fuck that, fuck that shit.
Some of the donkeys could talk and some of them couldn't, and like they'd lost their humanity. And like, or the guy was like, "This one can still talk. Put him back with the others who can still talk until he's learned not to talk." And it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
something horrible. This is terrifying. This is horrible. There's stuff going on here. And the scene where like it is like body horror when like Lampwick, the kid, is like turning into a donkey and he's just
That's
like
it, that's
screaming.
his
He's like,
name.
I don't want to be a donkey.
And then all you hear is,
It's fucked up. But it's like really memorable. Like I never forgot that as a kid. Like I would always remember that.
Do you know what, I'll be
Yeah.
honest, that is the only scene I remember. Like, you know, like when you think of a film and you always think like, what's the first thing you think of? I'm always like, creepy donkey scene.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only
For
thing
me,
you
it's
think of.
the whale at the end,
Yeah.
the whale chase scene. That was always the bit that used to freak me out.
It's
You're telling me
freaky.
you're more freaked out by a whale than you were by screaming donkeys?
It was just more them getting chased by a whale
Yeah.
that could eat them.
That's something
Yeah,
that could
yeah, I
like,
guess
terrify
so.
a child. I
But then
think.
again,
It didn't terrify me as a child. It terrified me when I was a bit older.
Oh, right.
As a
Well,
kid, I didn't get scared by this movie at all. It wasn't until I was a teenager
Oh.
when I rewatched it, and I was like, "This is fucked up."
I guess I feel like there's more context to it a little bit when you're kind of a bit older. You kind of understand a bit more of what's actually happening in front of you. But there's just something so like. But even if they got eaten, he was already in the belly of this whale. Like, would he have even died? Like, he would have just chilled in this shipwrecked boat.
Well, that's what I
thing?
was like.
Does it even matter if
Aren't
they
you
get
like?
eaten?
Don't you know that he's in the whale? Like,
Yeah, like, does it
they're
matter?
like, okay, we've gotten this far. Pinocchio sat on like the doorstep of his house, and he's like, "Where the fuck is Geppetto at?" And then like,
That
they're like,
letter comes
I
down.
have no other way to convey, like, to move the plot forward. So like a dove comes down from heaven, and it's like, here's a letter telling you where you should be going. And it's like, okay, you couldn't like progress the plot enough, like naturally on its own. So it's like, here's a dove, we're gonna put it here. Go and find him. and like that took for like fucking forever for him to find the whale, and then he like finds the whale and he runs away from it, and it's like, when you're supposed to like go into the whale though, like, isn't that like the whole point?
Yeah, like, this is the progression of the story. Please go inside this
It's
whale
like,
and do
I
your
like this
thing.
movie a lot, but I do think it does have like a lot of like failings for me. It was like, oh, okay, well, why is he doing this? And like, it felt like it went on forever when he was trying to find the whale, and like it felt a bit too episodic for my tastes. In a sense that like it could have just been like episodes of like vignettes of a mini series, and I don't know why it needed to be an entire movie. It's like it felt a bit disconnected in that way.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I guess it's like for Disney, they were still trying to figure out this kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe it was just a setup that they were kind of going with,
Yeah,
testing
and
out the waters.
I
of
think
it.
even just like kids' movies generally were still like in their infancy.
Yeah, because what, it was 40 what?
1940.
Yeah,
So like they were still
yeah.
kind of trying to work out what they were going to do and like how to make like feature films. So obviously Disney started off making shorts, and this was their second
Yeah, it's
feature,
probably-
so they were still coming to terms with that, I think.
Oh, which kind of does, yeah, it does make sense.
Did it?
Because I guess if you're on your second long feature movie and you're just stitching bits together but trying to like pad it out, I guess it is kind of inevitable when you're like starting up trying to move from short to long. But
I suppose, but Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs felt like a one cohesive
no,
thing.
that is true. That actually felt a lot more like one thing rather than Pinocchio being like, this is a thing, this is a thing, this is a thing. But then I don't really have a problem with it, but I don't know. It
was like in a video game
bizarre.
where like you go to the people, like a person in a tavern, and you like, give me a quest, and then Honest John's like, here's a quest for you, Pinocchio. Go figure this out. Like he goes into like a new place. It's like a video game logic. And he goes back to him. He's like, Honest John, that quest sucked. Give me another one.
Yeah, in terms of flow, it was a little bit janky because it felt like loads of different other things. But I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I just found it like quite strange.
Yeah.
I don't know, like especially like the whole like whale thing. Like for some odd reason, the whale thing was just something that I just didn't really vibe with. I was just why did they need to be at this whale? Why was he in the whale? Why did the plot have to convey a dove sending a letter to the I don't know, like,
yeah, I don't mind that because I like the imagery of it, and I like the imagery of like Geppetto being in his wrecked ship inside the belly of a whale.
Yeah,
it's fucking weird, and like,
it looked cool.
I do understand
but
like,
I
why they did
it
like that, because it is quite strange, and it's like, yeah, this is interesting. Why not?
I mean, okay, yeah, I guess you
why
could,
anything?
Yeah,
in this movie?
I guess you could go with the logic of, well, we've got a talking puppet boy here, so anything's on the cards, and it's like, oh, okay, if you're gonna go all out, you may as well go all out, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep reading this one note over and over again that says he's actually scarier looking when he's a real boy.
yeah, it's creepy as hell.
I actually preferred it when he was a puppet. Like, I really don't like him.
He's made out of like
a
fabric or like like dough.
He looks
so you pick
like
him
squishy,
up and he was just like the skin would like slough off his bones.
He does look like he's made out of like clay. It's fucking
I'm
weird.
a real boy now.
Yeah, where like Disney was still kind of learning how to do like human like animation. They brought on some like rotoscoping and stuff, like they did heavily on Snow White.
Yeah.
So they actually like got all the actors to like dress up as the characters, and they like filmed like full sequences with the characters like just acting. And they didn't use much of it, but there's definitely points where they do use it. Like they use it for I think the human Pinocchio, and he looks rotoscoped, and they do it with the fairy as well.
Yeah.
I think it works really well with the fairy because it gives her this like really otherworldly and like ethereal sort of look. She looks completely different to like Geppetto or any of the other characters, and it's like really
she actually
distinct.
looks okay. She doesn't look creepy like Pinocchio does.
I don't know. I think she does look a little bit creepy, but that's something I like about
she's
it.
kind of ethereal.
Yeah,
isn't she?
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like,
yeah, I didn't mind that because
cool.
it felt like she belonged to another world.
Yeah, I didn't
exactly.
mind it. So I'm just obviously I'm looking at the cat outside. The cat looks like Figaro, so I feel like that's related in a way.
Figaro was cool.
Yeah.
He was epic.
And that cat's also cute.
I like that he had his little subplot with like him like
Cleo
not loving the fish, and like the fish loved him. Like,
yeah, I found that kind of like cat
the horniest
nature.
fish ever.
yeah, she kept trying to kiss him.
What was it? Someone was like, "That's the sexiest fish I've ever seen." Stop sexifying the fishes. She had like the biggest eyelashes, man. She was a sexy
she kept
little fish.
fluttering her eyes.
Yeah. She was all like, "Ooh, Figaro, you're gonna eat me because you're a cat," and that's what cats probably do.
Yeah, she was pretty hot.
I like how that cat just like there's a cat outside that just turned around and was like, "The fuck."
I like when Jiminy like ties himself, like he weighs himself down with a rock in the sea, and he says, "I put it in the wrong end."
Wait, what?
Like, oh no! Why did you say it like that?
I really loved the animation. I think it's just so beautiful. Like especially like the settings and backgrounds and like all like the objects and stuff. It all looks so well detailed and so great. I love all of the character designs. They're so distinct and memorable. So creative. Like I just think it just looks fantastic, and it's aged incredibly well. I think it doesn't feel like a movie that's like almost like 100 years old.
Yeah, it's what I think it's one of those like whenever I think of like a classic Disney film that used to have its spark and love left in it. I think of like this film and like some of the others from a bit later, and then obviously the Renaissance age, obviously.
Yeah, this is from the golden age of Disney.
This is kind of one that I think of, and I think this always has that kind of like charm and happiness to it that I feel like Disney have completely lost because they've lost their souls and hearts. I don't know. This had something in it that was like, oh yeah, this was what Disney was meant to be, and it lived long enough to be the villain, basically.
I like the animation in that way. You can see like all the sketch lines and all that. It feels handmade.
It does.
Like people made it, and it's like a puppet. They made it like a puppet, like you would make a puppet.
Yeah, it probably took forever to make as well.
You see like tiny little imperfections. Like they probably should have like connected some sort of line there or like something, but it feels more human in that way.
I kind of prefer that though. It almost feels like it's not. There's something about like modern animation, not all of it, but some of it, where it's kind of like almost too perfect, and I'm like, oh, this kind of looks like it's.
Go back to being
sad.
Sort of shit.
I just
sort
like
of shit, but with a lot of personality.
Yeah,
that's what I like. That's it. Nothing has personality anymore. Like. Almost
when it's
nothing.
all fed through a machine, it loses any kind of personability, you know.
Yeah, it's just all too neat and professional.
Too clean, too glossy.
Yeah, too clean. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's like.
Yeah, I don't hate films for that.
I think you have to give a lot of like modern animation, even like 3D, like credit, because some of it is like really great still, even if it's not hand drawn like this. But there's something about this kind of animation where it feels like just like a labor of love. Like it feels like someone slaved over it for hours and hours and hours.
Maybe that's kind of how I feel about like not old time animation, but like animation pre-2000s or whatever. You can tell that it just took so long to do, and it wasn't a gesture of, oh, what can we shit out this year because we've got the quick time to do stuff. It was like we have to spend years and years.
This did take years to make, and it was like a big flop when it first came out.
Yeah, it was 1940.
Yeah, because it was in the middle of the war. Yeah, they re-released it, I think, like a decade later, and it was a gigantic hit then. But obviously, because of the war when it came out, it was like a huge flop.
But I mean, that was going to happen, wasn't it? Really? Like,
yeah.
You had one war and then you literally had another one, not that long after. So. Oh well.
Yeah, it's very much a labor of love. I think I do like. It's just like it's one of those like classic kids movies. Like it's one of Disney's classics. I think it's for a reason, though I don't know if like I'm really in love with most of the movies from this sort of era.
Yeah.
I really love a few of them, but like most of them, it's like I can kind of take them or leave them. This one's definitely one of the better ones, I feel. I do have my problems with it, but I do think it stands apart from a lot of those other ones.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think one of the reasons I actually loved this film so much is because I'm not a huge fan of like some of the other output like they were doing around this time, and like I really respect what they were doing, and I think the like art of it and how it was made is so great. So I think because I like this movie, I like it even more because of like just I like what they were doing at the time.
Yeah, some of them are just like here's a movie made by a bunch of racists.
Yeah,
that's not this. Thank God. But some of them are that.
Yeah. Well, the
a little bit like
voice
that.
of Geppetto apparently was a Nazi sympathizer.
Well, if we're going to go that deep, we're going to like Disney himself.
Yeah, we may as well just annihilate
like,
the whole
entire
thing.
Animation crew like were driven crazy because he like just kept rambling about how great Hitler was.
Really? I bet Walt Disney loved that though, because wasn't he supposed to be like a massive Nazi?
He
or
like
something?
hired ex-Nazis as animators at one point.
I don't really know how to feel about that, because like what is the?
I know how to feel about it. He's a bastard.
I mean, he is. Yeah, no, he is a bastard. You wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire, but
Yeah.
I love how every single time we start talking about Disney, we always get into the whole. We're like,
and all the Nazi stuff and the concentration camps and all this stuff.
And I swear to God,
China and all that.
Yeah, but you know what happened. It'll be like what was it? James A. Janice and Chelsea like rambling on about Disney films, we're going to get cancelled by Disney lovers who think that we're just haters.
Mm-hmm. I am surprised to see how popular Disney still is, though, and how many people like not only just like go to watch these movies.
Is it like loyalty
but,
though?
like,
Isn't it?
Just genuinely love Disney as a brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I honestly just think it's like all loyalty. At
It
this
sickens
point.
me.
It's kind of like you build up this relationship with something, and then you kind of just carry it on.
No, I love Disney. I went to Disney World, and I love all those old movies about Disney.
I don't get me wrong, I've been to Disney World.
Yeah.
Or Disneyland even.
We've all been to Disney World Land.
Except for me.
Except for Chris.
Well, yeah, because there's Disney World and Disneyland.
I've been to neither.
Oh, you should go, man. It's really great. It's really fun.
I would like to go.
Do you know what? I'm not going to pretend that I didn't go and not have fun, because I did.
I went when I was a
But
kid, yeah.
I went when I was 15, I think.
I mean, I like a lot of Disney movies. I like a lot of the Disney characters.
yeah, like, this
Yeah.
is the problem. I like Disney, but I don't like corporate Disney.
Yeah, I like a lot of their output. I just don't agree with them as a company and a lot of their business ethics.
I feel like, but the only problem is, I guess it's one of those, like, if we keep watching it and like supporting it, but then what 3 of us stop watching it? Oh no,
Yeah.
they're bankrupt now. So what's the point? You're not going to stop them, so you may as well just watch
You've
the
also
shit.
got the whole argument that if you stop supporting them, then you kind of have to stop supporting everyone else, because
They own
pretty much
everything.
everyone's as bad as them.
Well, and they own everything. So
Although
like, what am I
maybe
going to
like
do?
other studios aren't like the shit stuff they do isn't as widely publicized as Disney.
yeah.
There's not really any studio that isn't as bad as
No,
them.
this is what I mean. This brings me back to like the whole like musician saga. It's like, if I never listened to someone because they were like a bad person or a sex pest, I'd never listen to music fucking ever again, because everyone just seems to be a dick.
Yeah, that's
I
kind of just art.
Yeah,
to be fair.
I just can't take it anymore.
If
I'm
I have
like,
to
I'm just
stop
gonna...
consuming art made by paedophiles, I'm not going to consume any art at all.
Am I wrong though? Am I wrong? Every company is bad. Every musician seems to be an arsehole. Every artist seems to be a bit of a cunt. So, I mean, what do you
Yeah.
want me to do?
I mean, a lot of like the
Die?
Renaissance painters and stuff are like infamously terrible people.
Yeah,
but
like,
you're not going to stop like respecting and liking the Mona Lisa because he was a piece of shit.
yeah, like Egon Schiele. He was like infamous for like trying to fuck like 15-year-olds and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, you just have to start separating art from the art. So if you'll just never do anything ever again, ever.
But I find it hard to be offended by these old movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like hundreds of years
but
old.
can
or whatever.
we be offended by it though?
No, I'm not.
No, but I mean, can we be offended by it?
What do you mean? Like, can we be? Is it possible
wait,
for
wait.
us to be offended by it? You mean?
Kind of, but
'Cause it's
it
not
depends.
for
What
us.
what do we mean by like being offended though? Like, what is the context? Are we talking about like?
Just like all the overt racism in the Disney movies.
Okay,
and
yeah, no, I mean,
sexism and
okay,
all
yeah,
that.
like they're bad, but
And the
can
homophobia.
we? Yeah, yeah, true, actually. But I mean, it doesn't bother me. But then I'm also like not quite in
Don't
that
bother me, Disney.
category
You keep
of.
doing what
I'm-
you're doing.
Yeah, I'm not stereotypically
really don't mind.
Italian.
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah?
doesn't bother me only because this was like, it's from a different time where
I mean,
these
they do have trigger
these
warnings
things were
now.
okay.
So.
Yeah, what was it? Lady and the Tramp, before we were watching out on
Yeah.
Disney Plus, came up with this huge warning on screen.
Sorry. Lady and the Tramp had one, but Pinocchio didn't have one.
Yeah.
And they both had the same stereotypical Italian, like, one was either a chef, or a criminal.
Yeah, I think
That-
Lady
that
and the
is-
Tramp, it was because
that's
of
what
the
it is.
Siamese cats rather than
Yeah.
the Italians. Because
Oh, yeah, the fucking Siamese
But we'll
cat.
get into that
yeah,
later
who
on.
cares when you're racist about Italians? I guess.
Yeah, only to cats. Cat racism.
Who cares? It's just Italian.
Oh
I guess
my
we should
God.
start talking about the movie, but I will say one last thing is that
Yeah, cracking.
just for something that I really liked about it was the strings song. I got no strings.
to hold me down.
Yeah, I love
no
all
strings
of the
on me.
music.
Yeah,
pretty good.
most of the songs are actually quite fun.
I always get that like the clock songs, like when they're like when he gets all the clocks like dinging early on in the movie and like he's dancing with Pinocchio. I always get that stuck in my head, that
Yeah.
little melody. I think it's just like really sweet.
I like the string song because I just find it very interesting how like Pinocchio is just manipulated by a whole host of characters throughout the film, but it's like he's singing about having no strings on him and like not being able to be controlled in that way.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I found that quite interesting because he's like a child and he doesn't really understand it.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's kind of like it's a totally different outlook on it. I was just literally thinking, he has no strings because he's a real puppet boy now.
Yeah.
Rather than he has metaphorical strings because he's controlled by corporate Disney. I mean, what?
Speaking of corporate Disney, they were going to do a sequel to this movie in the 2000s when they were doing like all those straight to DVD
oh, what, like Naught,
sequels.
the Hunchback?
Yeah, like
none
Bambi
of that.
2 and that sort of shit. I'm glad
None
they
of that.
didn't, because this is like a very self-contained story. I don't know what you can add to it.
I don't know, Jiminy Cricket's Adventure, like Scamp's Adventure or some stupid shit. I don't know.
Probably.
Cleo and the Fish. Cleo and Figaro, get it on? I don't know. Like some
Jiminy Cricket actually came back in a couple of their other movies.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe one, actually, now I think about it. But they did like in the what's called the wartime era, during like the late 40s, early 50s, they did a bunch of like really shit anthology movies. And one of them had Jiminy Cricket as like the presenter of these like anthology stories.
Probably the only thing that kept it going, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the only thing I remember from it. So
I mean, to be honest though, in the war, you're probably going to take any kind of like happiness and entertainment you're going to get. So I'm not going to comment or fault it. I guess.
Gone to ratings?
Sure. What do you want to rate it out of?
You tell me.
Yeah, go on, Chris.
what did you call him? Guess Puko?
Guess Pollo.
Guess Pollo. Yeah, we'll name it. Do it out of Guess Pollos.
Okay.
I really love this movie. It's a film that holds like a lot of nostalgic weight to me because I remember watching a lot of my granddad growing up, and I remember having like it was one of the first DVDs I had as a kid, and I used to just be obsessed with this movie more so than any other Disney movie for some reason. And then as I got older, I was like, why did I love this as a kid? This is fucked up. And now I love it for completely different reasons because I think it's so dark and creepy. And it is basically like a horror movie, but I kind of love that it doesn't treat children like children. It kind of like understands that a lot of them can understand more mature themes and can like see these darker things that a lot of kids' movies aren't brave enough to show them. And yeah, that's one of the things I love about it so much. It's for me, it's like pretty much a perfect movie. So I give it like 10 Guess Pollos out of 10.
Guess Pollo.
Guess Pollo.
I'm never going to get over
boy.
Yeah.
Oh, oh.
Guess Pollo, I'm a real boy.
I like it a lot. I like that it's fucked up, and I like that it's one of those, you know, and I don't think it's like perfect, and I don't have that much of an attachment to it in terms of like the nostalgia factor. But I do understand where it ranks in Disney's catalogue, and it is quite an important movie. I think you should watch it. But it is also something that feels like a school lesson, and I don't really get on board with that, and I don't think it's paced as well as it could be. And it's not fun. It's just horrendous. I'll give it 7 Guess Pollos out of 10.
that is a valid point. It is actually like it's like one of the most uncomfortable animated movies you can like just sit and watch.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, it probably just goes straight over your head, but for me watching it this time, it was just like God, it was just awful. But for what it's worth, though, it was kind of like it had to be made. You know, it was if it wasn't for Pinocchio, where would Disney be? And that's what I thought about when I was watching it. I thought, where the fuck would they be without it? But then again, they did release it later on. It was fun. But you know what I mean? I think it's like the pioneer of
the pioneer
yes,
of the
Disney life. So I'm every time I read Guess Pollo, I just start laughing. So I'm going to give it 8 Guess Pollos out of 10.
Yeah. I almost picked Fantasia instead.
I'm so glad
like,
you didn't pick Fantasia.
I think that's a really creative and interesting movie, but
I don't like that movie.
I think it's like really long. I can't remember. I think I was like looking for films and
I found it really boring. It was just like
Fantasia's fucking boring.
Yeah, it's like one long
I love
music
Fantasia.
video.
It's one of my favourites, but
I
get why you find it boring.
Man. I'm so glad you picked this one instead.
Maybe I'll pick it in the future. Torture you guys.
No,
I'll just not turn up. You're like, Darcy, where are you? I don't know anywhere but there.
Yeah.
Are we doing this in release order, won't we?
We were
Or are
as
we
well.
just... Yeah, because if
Yeah,
it's so,
I
then
forgot
it'll
about
be,
that.
it'll be me,
forgot
I
about that,
think.
so I guess it is you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only said that because I've written my notes in release order, but
I didn't,
from the
but it
bottom
doesn't
up
matter.
for some...
Forgot to mention
bizarre
that.
reason.
Sorry that I didn't disclaim that, but I forgot. So yeah, we're doing Pinocchio, then Lady and the Tramp, and then Mary Poppins. Go, take it away.
Okay, so I picked my favourite Disney nostalgia film, Lady and the Tramp, directed by one of the guys who did Pinocchio. So we got
He was everywhere back in the day.
Hamilton Luske, we got Wilfred Jackson and Clyde Geronimi.
Yeah.
Cool name, great name.
That is a great name.
I love the tagline on this as well. Sorry, this is from 1955, but the tagline is, "She's from the leash and license set. He's footloose and collar free."
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Don't like that. Don't like that.
No, I only just read it and I was like, what the fuck? It's pretty much what it says on the tin. It's about two dogs that meet each other and they go
Get
on
it
some
on.
adventure. I don't really feel like there's much of a plot to this movie, to be honest. It's
Not
more
really.
like, it feels like a dog hangout film. Like if you were a
They go
dog
around.
in a perspective of a dog, you're just
Yeah.
walking around with them, enjoying life.
It's a really short movie,
It is
but
quite
like
short.
the first half an hour is like all dedicated to like the origin story of Lady.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's quite a weird one because I really, really love this movie. Like, I've got a lot of nostalgia for it, but like every time I watch it, I end up going, oh, like not like it because I love it, but
It's a real Anastasia.
yeah, like I often just go through and I kind of like there's like little lulls that make me go, okay, why is this in here? Or oh, this is a bit boring, isn't it? Or like I don't know, but the rest of the film kind of picks it back up for me because maybe it's just one of those nostalgia things. Like maybe I'm one of those like the diehard Disney fans that can see no like faults with
Mhm.
Disney, but this is me just with Lady and the Tramp. Even if I go like like I literally have a note here that says I do think quite a lot of nothing really happens,
Yeah.
but I like hanging out as if I was a dog. That's literally what it says. But I think it's because what keeps me liking this movie is that I really like the unique personalities of each dog, but I also really love dogs. So maybe because I love dogs and I love how
Mhm.
like cute and adorable they all are, and they're all like funny, and you got that little Scottish one and you got the annoying old one, and I don't know, I just love them. But the other thing I thought I'd mention, because for some weird reason every time I watch this film I think about it. Obviously my sister, I gave her the nickname Pidge, and one time we were watching this film and she went, "Oh my god, did you name me after the dog from Lady and the Tramp?" No, I didn't. But every time I watch it I think of my sister now.
To be fair, that was what I thought.
No, I named her that because she used to eat like
Pigeons.
the food that I would eat. Yeah, she was actual pigeon, not Pidge from Lady and the Tramp.
She used to eat pigeons.
Trying to call her a bitch, but just said it wrong.
Oh god, she doesn't listen to this, so we'll
Speaking
be
of
alright.
bitch, there's that line in this film where he says, "Come on, bitch."
Come on, bitch.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Yeah, that actually
That's the
made me laugh
highlight
out
of the
loud like that.
movie.
Yeah, that made me audibly laugh because I didn't notice it like the first like 5 or
He
6
said
times I
Pidge.
watched it.
I thought he said that, but I was like, no, he's just said Pidge. And then the subtitle said Pidge.
Oh, maybe
It's just like he says it a bit
maybe
weird.
he did.
So I'm sorry to take away your favourite moment in the movie, but that's not what he said.
Right. Half star.
Yeah.
Oh no! To be fair, it was funny.
I think it was a
Yeah.
mistake to watch these alone. Well, I say alone,
Yeah.
but you guys watched them together as per fucking usual, and I was left to rot in a gutter just watching them all on my own. I just think this marathon would have been like so much better if we had just like watched it all together.
I know. I
Yeah.
actually prefer when we do the marathons together, but we've just had such a terrible schedule recently, where all of us are either working or fucking off to Cornwall for some
Yeah.
ungodly reason.
This watching this movie was I liked the movie, but it was horrible because I felt like shit. I had
It's
like
true. He was dying.
it was either like a really bad migraine or like heat stroke or something. But I like spend the whole like film trying not to throw up, and my head hurt. and I kept
he was not doing good.
like dozing in and out of consciousness.
Yeah, like you.
So I don't really remember anything that happened in this movie.
Yeah, like you should have seen him on the drive up to Cornwall. It was like,
yeah, I felt awful.
You weren't even alive. Like every 5 seconds, I was watching him, and he was just like, like drifting away, and I was like, oh.
I also had a edible before we left, so I was like completely fucked.
I did not have weed while I watched this movie. But maybe that would have made it better. I don't know. I don't really.
I thought that about Pinocchio, to be fair.
I don't really like. Yeah, maybe if I had weed. No, if I'd have had weed, like
that would have been a horrifying dream.
That would have just been like horrendous. I feel that would have been horrible. But yeah, this was a non-weed experience for me, and I just didn't really get along with it. I do like the movie overall, but I think it does a lot that's just like, oh, fucking whatever. And it drags a lot. It's not paced very well. And it is just like, if you don't really care about what's like the characters all that much, then like there's not much going on here. I like Lady enough, and I like what the Scotty dog. I like how they're designed, and I like how they kind of bounce off each other. But the rest of them I could
take them or leave them.
Take them or leave them. I'm not, Jock's the name of that Scotty, and I liked him. I liked his design. They felt a bit more full in their design work than like the others did. I guess they just like stood out a bit more. But yeah, I just really wasn't vibing with it all that much. It wasn't a weeds type experience for me.
Chris was just dead. Like like junk or no junk, the man was gone.
Yeah, I remember really liking the intro where they show like the family getting Lady and like her growing up as a puppy.
Do you know? I actually think my favourite part is the first half an hour or so, and then after that it kind of dips down a little bit, and then I kind of don't really care that much, and then my interest peaks up again when what's her name does the "He's a tramp, but I love him," because that song's a bop, an absolute bop.
Yeah, when we were watching the movie, I was like, I don't remember anything from this movie, and like that whole sequence where like you see Lady as a puppy like try and follow them to bed and stuff. I was like, I remember this so vividly, and like just blocked it out of my mind.
Yeah, I think the movie starts tipping off just after what's her name? The Lady Darling, whatever her name is, Lady Dear. Well, I don't fucking know her name.
Yeah, I love that. Like she calls her own as Jim Dear and Darling, because like that's what they call each other.
Yeah.
But, like, it's clearly like
the
guy's name is like Jim or James, and her name was something else, but he only called her Darling, so that's what they knew them as, and like that's what all the other dogs in the area called them as well. I found that rather sweet.
Yeah, and it's not until like the end of the movie where you actually see like their faces. Pretty much the whole like anytime you see them, it's like their body down.
It's like some weird.
It's almost like the perspective of the dogs.
Yeah, it's like going for a dog's perspective. You do see the human's faces a bit in the first part. It's like they're bending down and like, or like they're sitting at a chair. That was all right. I didn't mind that. I quite liked like the dog perspective of it because it's about the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be weird if it wasn't, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, like the
it'd be weird if it wasn't
like
about the dogs and it's just like, we followed Jim Dear and Darling on their holiday, and then afterwards they got home and it was like, oh, okay, there's a rat in the room. Did you like the part where they have the baby and then like you see the baby and it looks just terrifying?
Yeah,
it's like they were like, they got a cell from like another movie and they were like, put it in there.
Yeah,
and just put it onto their existing movie and it doesn't fit at all.
Yeah, I kind of thought that as well, but I guess it's another one of those like Pinocchio things where they just still were like, what how do people look? Like babies are creepy.
I don't know.
The Pinocchio baby was creepy. I just think they should just stick to like animated animals and
this film came out
stuff.
Like, was it 14 years after Pinocchio? Is it 54? 15.
Yeah.
No, that's a lot of time to work on that sort of thing. I think they did a lot of like human animation and other things.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it wasn't good.
I don't really have a problem with the animation or like the human animation. It was just that one point where they showed the baby and I was like, what the fuck is that? It was horrifying.
I mean, it's quite accurate though, because most babies look fucking horrific.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Let's be honest. Have you ever seen a baby that has not looked like a potato? I'm sorry, it's true. They grow into their looks. Let's be real. But they all come out looking like teeny tiny little screaming little red raisin things.
Well,
Like, I'll be honest, like, I swear to God, like, if I have a natural born, my own child, whatever, I'll still be like, that fucking thing is ugly. But, you know, they grow into it, you know, like about 6 months or so in, they start looking like an actual human being. I've said this so many times before, and other people do tend to agree with me, so I'm just being brave enough to say it out loud. Babies are weird.
Sorry, I swear to God I was going to say something, but like, just Darcy went on her whole
derailed
baby run, and like I have no idea what's going on.
This is me.
It was quite convenient that like Jim Deere and Darling like left, and they were like leaving with their bags immediately as like the aunt came in, and like she came in, and they were like leaving immediately. It was like, what, you were just gonna like, were you gonna like go, and then like, what if she had turned up 10 minutes late or something? Like,
yeah, you're just gonna leave
like not gonna leave,
baby,
but like you're just gonna leave it anyway, and just like, maybe she'll show up. I don't know.
Yeah, what if she never arrived? That would have been a completely like different movie.
I mean, her cats were something else as well. That's, I guess, a lot of why they put the warning, the pre-warning, at the beginning of the movie. Like, there's material in here that's pretty racist, and it wasn't okay then, and it's not okay now. Meanwhile, they're making fucking Mulan and like the back of a Chinese concentration camp is like, okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and you didn't hear about that? There's a huge controversy. Huge fucking controversy that I'm not going to go into. You should just search it up. It's fucked up. But yeah, there was a lot of like, here's a dog and like, or like an animal. And it's like, they're this nationality, and we're going to do something crazy and funny with them. It's not like offensive, but it is like, hey, come on. Like,
yeah.
They
have their song that they sing.
Yeah, it's very stereotypical of that kind of.
Say what you will about all the racism, but that song slapped.
I'm not gonna lie, it does slap.
It's memorable. It's very memorable. When you think of this movie, it's like that one, the Siamese cat song.
It's probably like the only other song that anyone knows from this film.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say this is the one that
everyone knows. This is the one
knows.
that I know.
Yeah.
What other songs were there?
He's a
Don't
tramp.
tell me.
No.
Don't tell me. Oh, you already said well, discounting that one. I don't know. Like,
no, I don't know.
I don't
Off the top of the head.
She's a lady. Do they sing that song?
Probably.
Do you like juxtapose like he's a tramp with she's a lady?
Yeah.
She's a lady. That's what they should have had. That's what they should have had in here.
Do they sing a song when they're doing the like spaghetti scene?
This is the night with the beautiful.
Yeah,
that one, yeah.
Bella Notte.
Yeah, but that song's a classic, though, isn't it?
Notte. Yeah, that's just
that has nothing to do with anything, really.
That was like the best fucking scene in the entire movie for me.
What the
spaghetti scene where like
right.
the Italian chef, he's like, bring out a plate of spaghetti for my boy over here. And they serve these dogs fucking spaghetti and meatballs, and he gets the accordion out and like fucking just sings the song. Like, don't you have customers? It was like the most insane part of the movie. Yeah. It was so funny because it was just so absurd. Like, why would you be doing this?
Yeah, like that must look crazy to like anyone who's like watching just like this accordion with like these two dogs just like passing meatballs with their noses or whatever.
Just a massive primo plate of spaghetti. Could have gone to huge, like a human. Nah, the dogs get it. Or you see the iconic kiss scene that so many people have tried to imitate. Well, what if we get some spaghetti and we kiss in the middle of the spaghetti? Wouldn't that be romantic? I saw some dogs do it on the television.
Sounds kind of disgusting, to be honest. I feel like you wouldn't be able to even like achieve that. You'd have to like.
You never done that,
no.
Or you get like a strawberry lace or something. You're just like, all right, we're not gonna like put them on a plate.
No,
you're gonna do it.
Just like a strawberry lace plate. Oh god, this
I don't know, Darcy. I feel like you're the weird one for not having done that.
Do you know what? Maybe this podcast is ruined.
Go home and get yourself a packet of strawberry laces. Then you'll know.
I'm thinking of like the fizzy one. You're actually thinking about like the actual ones that could be spaghetti,
just like the little spaghetti.
The
things.
Little ones.
Those ones.
I'll get those like Babito ones, the little blue raspberry ones that are disgusting.
And the Mexican Chihuahua was quite a lot.
Oh yeah,
like, I have all the ones that they like.
Chihuahua.
They were like, here's an ethnicity, or here's like a nationality. They'd be like, yeah, okay, I get it. It's like the bumbling Irish policeman, or like the the Siamese cats.
Oh
and
yeah,
all
we
that, and it's like, or like the Russian dog with like a really long neck.
were we gonna mention the?
But this fucking Chihuahua was like insane.
Yeah,
Like, it was so insanely like over the top with like the Mexicanisms. It was like, what are you doing?
and like, and he was just like talking, and he was saying like, my sister's name is da 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 da, and she had like the longest name of like all time.
Yeah,
I can't remember her name. I'm not even
No,
gonna
it's
get
too
into
long,
it.
too long
Yeah.
too long and too Mexican to remember.
I really can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was like they were in the pound and they sing their fucking stupid, annoying hound songs, like where they're just like yelling. It was like, it was so
Wait.
annoying. They sing their sad little dog song in the
What
pound. With
hound?
like, I'm just like imagining like a bunch of people in a recording studio just going,
howling.
and like all discordant and all that. It doesn't really fit, and it's like, it's
that
just
was
headache
horrible.
inducing.
I hate it.
I actually think that I completely like just glossed over that because I have like no recollection of them doing the hound thing.
Yeah.
I literally don't remember that bit at all. Maybe it's for the best though, because it sounds like you guys did not enjoy that.
No, it was awful.
I'm blessed.
You're like that one dog that was trying to Shawshank his way out of there. Like digging a hole in the fucking ground in the pound.
I mean,
that
they
was
are
great.
dogs, so like, why? Yeah, why don't they?
What's happening here?
Sure.
Something else I actually like about the movie is how it uses like the 2:35:1 aspect ratio. It was the first time Disney had done that. I think it gives it like this really like cinematic feel. I think that it's complemented really well by like the highly detailed like settings and like just objects and stuff as well.
As in, it's rectangular.
Yeah.
It's just more space.
Yeah, I feel like someone needs to dumb that down for
Yeah.
me because you're talking about ratios, and I'm like,
Yeah, there's more
What?
space on the screen because it's like wider.
More space, more dogs, more action, more
Yeah.
epic.
Apparently the animators
More
found
dogs.
it really difficult because like they found it difficult to like put a single character on the screen, and they found like all the groups they had to like spread them out a bit, but like in a way where the screen doesn't like feel sparse or empty at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they did it decently.
Yeah, they pulled it off for sure. It's quite a good looking movie. I do like how it looks and all that. It's got a lot of memorable stuff in it. Where it falters is like its story and its lack
Definitely.
of telling one.
yeah, that's what I think. That's my least favorite part about it. Is it just doesn't. There's like nothing happening.
I feel like it's kind of almost too short for its own good because it doesn't really have enough time to tell a story and it just doesn't try.
That's not true, is it? Like, come on, it's like an hour and a half. Pinocchio was an
It's
hour
like
and
an
a half.
hour 20.
Yeah, you could tell a story in that amount of time.
Yeah, of course you could. I just feel like they didn't or they started a story and then they were like, no, because it kind of gives me that impression again that it's like loads of short movies. Like, we got to get this rat out of this place. We got to go to the zoo and meet the badgers or the beavers or whatever the fuck. We got to go to the pound. We got to.
I don't know. I don't feel like
Save
that
the
because I feel like
cats,
it all
I don't
links
know.
into the same narrative, but it's.
But do you know what I
understand
mean?
why
Like, it feels like just, I don't know, like events after events rather than
Well,
like.
that's a movie, right? Like plot points. You gotta have plot points in a movie, otherwise you have nothing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I
with
felt
this,
like you could
like,
take stuff out and it wouldn't have
it-
mattered. That's what I felt like anyway.
Yeah, because
but-
it doesn't feed into like a grander narrative. I don't think. It's just like they're wandering along. They go to the zoo and like.
I like the zoo bit,
Get a
but
beaver to get the muzzle off of her.
yeah,
That
and
was
then
alright.
pretend it's like a muzzling instrument, which I kind of
Yeah.
liked.
You could do wonders with this baby right here. You could move your logs with a million times the efficiency. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't that be great? It works. Thanks. Did you like the part where like Trusty almost dies at the end? I actually quite like the part where
yeah,
I like the part where Butch like runs after Lady in the carriage as she's been taken to the pound, and then like I gotta. No, that wasn't it. Like, I like that the dogs thought that he was going to kill the baby, but then it turned out that he was framed and it was actually the rat. So, like, they had to chase after him to free him from the pound. And it's like this big epic chase scene where, like, he's being redeemed in that moment. I liked all that. I think that was pretty cool. But I
Yeah.
don't like how it ended with like Trusty like, oh no, he's dead, and then the little dog was like, no, and then like it didn't dwell on it for a single second, and then you're like, oh, okay, whatever, and then he's fine.
It reminds me, the way they do it, like, reminds me of that scene in Bambi where her, Bambi's mum dies. It's like, it's this really sad moment where like Bambi's dad's like, your mum's dead, and then it cuts to like flowers and like this really happy song playing. It kind of reminds me of that, where like you think this dog's died, and then the next second it's Christmas morning and there's puppies everywhere.
Yeah. Like, why are they celebrating? Trusty is fucking dead.
You just see him stumbling with his broken leg.
Like, I'm not dead at all. Oh, thank God. It was like Chewbacca in the fucking episode 9. I also don't like that trope of like two characters have a baby and like the boys look like the father and the girls look like the mother.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like tiny
There's no
little
crossover
tramps
at all.
and
There should be
tiny
like,
little ladies.
here's a crossbreed. No, it's like, the boys are the breed of the father and the girls are the breed of the mother.
That's how it works. That's
Boring bullshit trope. Hate it.
that is true genetics. I have a feeling it's probably something to do with like how like silly the public might be if they go, oh, are they're puppy dogs? Because it's like not overtly obvious.
They don't even look like one of them like entirely. That's it. That's crazy.
Oh, I don't understand. It's got scruffy dog feet but long cocker spaniel ears. I don't
like
understand.
introducing someone to your mother and father, and they're like, "You don't look like your mother."
Could you imagine if people actually did that? Would be so weird.
You don't look like a smaller version of your father. That's strange.
Yeah, that'd be so weird.
Cool. Lady and the Tramp. We got anything else to say? Because I'm kind of done. I don't really.
No, to be
I think
honest,
it's like a fine movie. I just don't really care for it all that much, and I wasn't excited to watch it again because I watched it a couple of years ago. I'm not that big on it.
Did anyone ever watch the sequel?
No, we've been through
Scamp's
this.
Adventure.
Who the fuck is Scamp?
Is
The
that
little male version of
the one that's like a rascal
Tramp.
who keeps like doing bad shit at the end of the movie, like keeps like ripping things.
The criminal at the end of the movie.
Yeah, he's basically Tramp 2.0.
Yeah, he goes on an adventure.
I've
That's
not
cool.
seen it because it sounds like shite.
I watched it like when I was a kid, and I don't remember it at all. I remember not liking it.
No, most of those sequels for me are just like I refuse to watch them. I just can't
I remember
do it.
even as a kid I didn't like them, and like
No, I just don't see the
I
point.
would watch anything. So like, considering I didn't like him as a kid, that's how you know you fucked up.
I definitely didn't watch them. I just refused. I think there's like there's like a couple that I would watch, like like The Lion King and stuff. But there are some that I looked at it and went, that looks terrible. I'm not watching that. The seagulls have decided that this is the end of the segment. What can we rate it out of tramps?
Okay.
Yeah, I stumbled. Stumbled
I
out.
thought you had something like you were like ready for it. Like, yes, this will be my
No.
one. All right, we'll go with your shitty one. Fine.
This is a decent movie. Why did you get angry as if I was about to say no, we'll change it, we'll pick something else?
No, I was getting mad because he said it was a shit rating system, and it is. I'm mad at myself.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a decent movie. It's not one of my favourites of this era, but I think it's Scottish charm. It's sweet. It's like I always like, when I think of this movie, I think of like watching it with your family on like Christmas Day when it's on like BBC Two or something.
It is a Christmas film, by the way.
That's when I watched it last. It was on BBC on Christmas Day, and it's kind of that sort of film, like just a warm movie that you watch with the family. It's not really got much weight to it. It doesn't really make you think of anything. It's just this sweet, and it does its purpose. I give it like 7 tramps out of 10, I guess.
Yeah, I like it. I like all the stuff with Lady. I'm just not that keen on really anything else that's happening. But it's a fun enough movie. It does drag along a bit. Some of the songs aren't really necessary. I feel like they just make it longer. Yeah, I don't think I would ever watch it again because I've watched it too many times in the past few years. I'm gotten enough out of it. I'll give it 6 tramps out of 10.
I still like this movie 8 tramps out of 10.
Nice. Epic. Sick. Cool. Now we go to the one, the only, my movie that I picked, that I did not make, but I picked it, so it's basically mine. It came out in 1964. It's the oldest one of the bunch, but not the oldest one Disney ever made. It
What
was
do you mean
directed...
it's the oldest one of the bunch? The youngest one of the bunch?
What are you talking about, bruv?
He said it's not the oldest of
I
the
thought he said
bunch.
it was the oldest.
Do you know what?
You know what,
Chris?
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Who's to say? It's been a long day, so
Yeah.
just remember that anything I say is true. It was 1964 that this one came out. It's called Mary Poppins. It's about a nanny called Mary Poppins, and it's also about, she goes to her family and she's like, "You guys suck. I'm gonna come in here and be your nanny because you need a nanny, and you're driving away all the nannies, and your father needs to work, and he doesn't need your shit. Okay?" So she goes and she bees their nanny, and it's about all the crazy and wacky adventures they get up to. It's about Mr. Banks and his bank. He's so tired. Comes home every day. He's like, "Oh, so tired. I've been at the bank all day." And it's about like it's about fixing the family. How it's set in 1910, and very very old timey type movie. I've watched it before. We all watched it before
Yeah.
a few times.
Not,
sure.
I've watched it a few times as a kid, but not
Yeah, as a
since
kid.
then.
Yeah.
I didn't really remember it at all.
No, I didn't remember anything.
That's good. Fresh set of eyes on this movie then.
Yeah, I remembered that movie Saving Mr. Banks more because I watched that more
Yeah.
recently.
I
That's-
watched some of that as well.
Yeah, that film was all about the making of it, where like the writer's played by Emma Thompson and Walt Disney's played by Tom Hanks.
Yeah, he would be.
Yeah,
Of course he would be.
it was like a incredibly sensationalized like retelling of the story, where a lot
Of
of
course
it
it
wasn't true
is.
at all.
Yeah, I think
Like, what do you expect?
the writer of these, it was based on like a series of books and by P.L. Travers, and like I think she fucking hated this movie.
She did.
She hated this movie so
She
much.
didn't
Yeah.
want to see it, did she?
She didn't want it to be made to begin with. Like Walt Disney, like really, really ran her down, and that's
Mhm.
kind of what Saving Mr. Banks is about. Like Walt Disney's making the movie, and he's like showing her what they're doing, but she's still saying no to it. And eventually at the end, she's like fine because she thinks that Walt Disney's like finally accepted what she thinks the story's about. And like the last scene of the film's her watching it in the cinema, and she's like, at first she's like, "What the fuck is this?" And then she like smiles and is like, "Oh, actually, this is good." Whereas in real life, she was not like that at all. Apparently, she burst into tears and left the cinema, and like years later said that it's a fine movie, but it's not a good adaptation.
Mm-hmm. That is such a shame. It's a real shame, honestly. But I can't say I share her sentiments because I fucking love this movie. I think it's fantastic. And I wanted to go back to it because I was like, yeah, I don't know, like it was pretty good actually. I quite liked it when I saw it, and I saw this like maybe 5 years ago or something. Quite liked it. But I understand that you guys do not feel my sentiments in. Well, I mean, I see Darcy's face right now, and she's just shaking her head at me, and she's like, "I can't believe you're fucking saying these hapless things. I'm going to tear you to shreds." So go on, Darcy. Tell me what it is. Tell me how it be.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong for liking it because, lots of people tend to love
Mhm.
this film.
I like this movie.
It's a
Um,
massive, classic movie.
I think I don't particularly have a strong opinion on either side. I really love things about this movie, and I really fucking hate things about this movie. So I feel like it kind of balances
Awesome.
it out.
Yeah.
A lot of what I hate comes down to like the length, how annoying most of the people in this film.
Wow.
Like the accents are terrible. The choreography is
Really?
really good actually, but the songs do go on for too long. It gives me the same vibes that Hello Dolly did, where
Oh.
I was having an okay time and then it got ruined, and then I was having an okay time and then it got ruined again. I didn't like the kids. I didn't, especially that little boy. I just I think I appreciated things about this movie. Okay, so for me, I'm just gonna list off the nice things so I don't start like a fucking wild war out here. But
you can say the nice things so you can just completely rail on it for the rest of the discussion.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was just rooting off the things that I didn't like, so I didn't completely like come in just like, I come in hate bashing and then I leave with, but I did like. No, there was the parts that I loved about this movie were things like obviously Mary Poppins herself. She was like basically what carried this whole movie, in my opinion. I think she was great in every single way. She's the only one that can sing well. She was just great. I loved her. I wish she was just on her own pretty much the whole movie. No, I loved her. I really did. I think there are aspects of like them trialing out like the whole live action like cartoon crossovers, which I thought were like quite charming and kind of quirky, because you got like things like where they're like cleaning up the nursery and then like all the drawers and stuff are like slamming and like having their own sort of like, they're not even real but they basically are real. They like got their own personalities and stuff, and it's quite fun. And like the little penguins and the little how they interact with the character. I don't know, I liked all the cartoon stuff and how like they try to like merge it all. I mean, it does look a bit janky, but let's be honest, it's the 60s. Someone had to be the like
someone had to do it first.
Yeah, someone had to do it first, basically. And I think for what it's worth, it's really charming. It's kind of rustic, but it's kind of I like those aspects of it. Like visually speaking, this film is really, really nice. If it had no volume on it, I would happily watch it. But because I have to watch it with volume and at full length, I'm not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's quite a loud movie.
It's annoying. The film is annoying, but for what it's worth, I just love looking at the movie, and that's kind of where it ends. Yeah.
For me, I didn't find much of it annoying. There was that big like chimney sweep song.
Fuck off.
Like the chimney bit where like all the chimney sweeps are there. That bit I found really, really annoying. The rest of it, not so much.
Well, actually, okay.
It's just like,
okay, let us preface this with the notice that before we watched this movie, we got up super early and we had a 5
you didn't get
hour.
Up super. Well, I didn't. You
5-hour
did.
drive from Cornwall back to Portsmouth. So I think my brain was already in, I don't want to fucking watch 2.5 hours of Mary Poppins tonight. So I think if I watched it again, I think I would like it a bit more.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, like in a different situation where I didn't have to watch 2.5 hours of Mary Poppins after 5 hours.
Yeah. To be honest, I think my biggest problem with the movie is that I just felt that a lot of the sequences could have been trimmed down a little bit.
It was really long.
There was a lot of bits where I was like, this is just, okay, I kind of get what you're going for now. I feel like it's just going on and on.
Max is like seething. He's like, I can't believe you're going to say these things.
But like, I do like the movie, and there's a lot I think is really great about the movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is, I think what I love about the movie is really overshadowed by what I hate about the movie. And if it was the other way around, I think I would have really liked this film. But I think when I have to weigh it up, I just didn't enjoy it. Like if I'm going to like logically weigh it up with what I liked and what I didn't like.
That's all right. You're allowed to be wrong.
That's fair.
I just love it so much. I think it's so much fun. I do not feel the length of it at all. I think it's absolutely fantastic the entire time. I don't feel like the same way about the characters. I think they're brilliant characters. I really think they're very well acted. I love all the music, and I'm having so much fun in it the entire way through, and I don't think there's anything that I would have wanted to be cut from it at all, because I'm having such a fantastic time. I think all the songs are brilliant. I love the fucking Step in Time song on the roof. I think the choreography in there is fantastic, and I think I do agree it's like such a pretty movie, and like all the like painted backgrounds and all that, and when they go into the chalk drawings that Dick Van Dyke has made, I think that's just so nice. It's so inspired, and it really blends very well the live action and the animation. Like you see like that fox interact with Dick Van Dyke, and it's like they're actually like there, and it's like he's like holding the fox in his lap. It looks so nice, and I just think, I don't know, like what I thought I was getting into with the movie, like when I watched it, I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be quite good because I liked it before when I watched it a few years ago. But I didn't think that I would love it so much, but I really fucking loved it. And I think it's one of the better musicals. It's like really up there for me. And I do think like I'm also approaching it from like this angle of like, I think Mary Poppins is like a god in it. I think it's like a metaphor for like religion and like religious idols. And I think Mary Poppins is like this like ageless god. She's like in a cloud when you first see her, and like she's like a trickster god. So that's like the perspective I'm coming at it from. And through that perspective, I was like, oh, this is like deity worship, and and like Mary Poppins is like, everybody loves her so much, and they're like, what can we do for you, Mary Poppins? Here's a thing, and like all the penguins are like, we love you, Mary Poppins. Here's a fucking 3-course meal for you, and we're gonna dance for you, and like everyone's like, Mary Poppins is amazing, Mary Poppins is fantastic. I think it's about that. I do think it's about that. And that's how I really fucking love that about the movie.
She was just the best bit of the film.
Julie Andrews is incredible.
Yeah, she's great.
Absolutely fantastic. I think there's nobody else that could have played her quite as well as Julie Andrews. She looks amazing. The outfit's like classic, and everything that she's wearing is just lovely. She's fucking gorgeous. She just plays the part so bloody well, and like you just believe it like the entire time. I never see like her. It's just like that's the character.
Yeah, she obviously won Best Actress Oscar for it. Completely deserved.
Absolutely.
I think she's probably the best like performance in the film. She's fantastic.
She is like hands down. Like I'm not even going to dispute that. She carried this movie on her back, bruv. She ran with this movie. I love her.
Yeah.
And now I back down again.
I felt like her vocal performance in terms of the music was like the best out of everyone as well.
Yeah.
She's also not going to dispute that.
She's the one who I think can sing the best. Like some of the other people, I was like, I don't think they really have the singing capabilities, but
yeah, sort of. But I actually quite liked everybody else's singing though, and I like when Dick Van Dyke does his little songs. He's like, "Oh, you got your accent there." I love all that, and like all the kids. Like, I think the kids were really sweet, and I do think they were played quite well. And they're not like they're kind of major characters, but like they never feel like, oh fucking these guys again. For me, I don't think. I just found them like really sweet. I love their little song they sing when they're like singing out their advert for a new nanny. It's really nice. And you see Darcy shaking her head, but I just love it all. It's like it's really hyper stylized, the whole movie. It's like it's this movie. You can take a shot from like any part of it. It's like that's this one. It's great.
I think this is like out of every Disney like live action movie, this is the one that feels closest to one of their cartoons. Like, and it just its energy, the way it looks, like how colorful it is, its vibrancy, just everything about it. It feels like a Disney like cartoon, one of like the classics.
Like they kind of put more effort into it. Like again when they're like animating like fucking drawers and desks and stuff, and I'm like, well, that I could believe that.
Yeah.
You know, rather than
so
like
fucking cool.
animating a cartoon desk is basically what I'm trying to say.
The broom, like they click their fingers and like the room like sorts itself out.
Yeah, it was kind.
Well,
yeah,
if you can do it like that, I guess that's fine. But like, I can't do it like that.
Like you watch a lot of the other like live action Disney movies from this time, and they're like that One of Their Dinosaurs Are Missing movie we watched, where it's really dull, annoying. It's like trying too hard to be like feel like a cartoon, just doesn't really work. Whereas this, it feels very, very natural.
It does, yeah.
I can't believe you reminded me of that movie.
Yeah, one of the dinosaurs, one of our dinosaurs.
Yeah, that movie's so awful.
I've taken that out of my mind. I was gone forever. Although the practical effects and all that were just fantastic, and like all the like when the nannies are like lining up at the beginning, and then Mary Poppins is like, fuck these guys. So she like brings in like a wind and blows them away. And they're all like, and they like blow away. It's so much fun. Like she's the only one left. It's like she's a god.
She is a god. Yeah, maybe she is.
She has every other Tuesday off. That's like her day of rest. It's like still further in with it, I think.
What is Tuesday meant to be a like biblical?
No, but like you know, in the
style,
like the story of the Bible, it's like God made the world, and then on the seventh day he rested, and that's the day of rest. She has a day of rest. Only she takes like less time to rest than God himself. So she's just better. That's what I think it's going for. I don't think the movie is about Mary Poppins though.
No,
which is like a
it's
kind of a
not.
misnomer. It's like, oh, it's Mary Poppins. We're going to see about Mary Poppins. It's not really about her. It's more about, I think, the character of Mr. Banks. George Banks.
Yes.
Like he's got to figure some shit out, and there's like a lot to do with like how do you like work-life balance? Like it's the big anti-grind set movie. Like he's like, oh, I've got to go to work, and like his schedule is so regimented. He's like, at 6 o'clock I come home, and then I sit on a sofa, and my wife brings me some tea, and then I say goodbye to the kids. Good night forever. And then like he sees them for like 2 seconds of the day, and it's like a really sad kind of life that he's living, but he loves it. But like that's the kind of thing that he thinks he needs, and like his whole thing is like it's regimented. And these kids, they're my seed, they're my breed, and they must know.
And all he
They
really
must know the
cares
ways.
about is like his job at the bank.
Yeah.
He's like trying to get his kid to invest his tuppence into the bank.
Invest your tuppence at the bank.
Yeah.
Where he's dressed up like some sort of Johnny Knoxville bad grandpa style.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke as the older bank owner.
Yeah, he's so great. He's so great. That all was great. And either his songs were like Mr. Banks' songs and all the bankers, they were very ordered. It's like the notes they're hitting were like very blunt. It's like here's this one, this one, this one. It's all like structured very evenly, and like there's no like flourishes. There's no like, oh, here's a little thing here and we're doing that. Like when Mary Poppins sings a song or when the kids sing a song, it's like very much when Mr. Banks is singing his song, it's like, I have the order, and this is what it is, and that's reflected in his character a lot. Bit of water, and I sorry, yeah, I think it is basically his movie. He needs to go through the arc because Mary Poppins doesn't really go through an arc. She's like, I'm just a nanny.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna sort
don't
some shit
really
out.
either.
No, because it's and he goes through the most character development. I like at the end where like he's going to the bank and like he's expecting to get fired, and it's like the last scene in a Western or something, because there's like the statue of the guy on the horse as he's going into the bank. It's like this is his last stand. And all that stuff with like he goes into the bank and like all the bankers are at their table in like the middle of the room and like right at the back, and it's just like everything shrouded in shadow, and it looks so cool. And like, all the red carpet around them. It's really great. But I do like all those bankers as well. They're very silly. It's like a lot of like silly stuff, and like they're all dancing around, telling Michael to invest his tuppence. He's like, I don't want to give him my tuppence. I want to feed the pigeons.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think "Feed the Birds" is the best song in the movie. I really love that song. That's always like the one that stuck out the most for me.
Mm-hmm. It's like a lullaby.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I like that a lot.
Apparently it was Walt Disney's favourite song in the film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like you could just like ask anyone and they're like, what's your favourite song? And they just pick an entirely different one, because it is filled with all that, you know?
Yeah.
All those great songs.
The last
Chimney
one,
Sweep
Let's
song.
Go Fly a Kite, it's obviously great as well.
It's so,
That is
like,
my
it's
favourite one.
fantastic. It's triumphant. You're like, da, da, da. Fucking swinging your head around. It's great. And everybody learns something from it. To fly a kite. All the bankers are like flying a kite, and there's so much like magic in the movie. It's like technical magic, like how they're able to like do all this stuff, like taking all the stuff out of the bag and cleaning up the room and all that, and like all the like that character, like he was laughing so much that he like floats up into the air and he can't get down, so like they have to like tell him something sad, but he just turns it into something funnier, and all those jokes fucking sucked ass. But that's what made it funny.
I think that was the song I found the most annoying, actually, now I think about it.
Wait, what one?
Where they're like doing all the different laughs.
Yeah.
Darcy's just blocked it out.
Darcy has no recollection of this movie, but she's so adamant that it sucks ass.
I don't want to remember. No, I really didn't like that bird song. I was like, what the fuck is she talking about? It's like, feed the birds for like a penny. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking
Feed the
about?
birds tuppence a bag.
So what the hell are you talking
She was
about?
there in the snow globe, Darcy. She showed them the snow globe and they were like, oh my God, I want to go feed the birds. And she was there.
Although every time I watch it, I do think of the Mary Poppins episode of The Simpsons where like they're singing about Barney like being a lonely drunk that got threw out the bar after close or something.
Yeah. Or that bit at the end of the film where she gets hit by like a plane propeller or something.
Yeah. She's very like well mannered in this. It's like everyone's like laughing and they need to like laugh to float up into the air. And she's
it's a
just
cool
like,
concept.
fuck it. And she just like jumps up and she's like, yeah. she just floats up. She doesn't need to laugh.
She's a god. She don't need to do it.
I think the author hated how Mary Poppins wasn't like cold enough. Because apparently that's a big point in the book. She's like very cold, although she is like magical and like has all this like really sweet, like amazing stuff about her. Apparently she is like quite, she knows when to like be strict and cold-hearted. And you do get a little bit of that in this, I do think.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the things that makes the character quite interesting. She does definitely have her own set of rules. She isn't just like, yeah, let's go do whatever we want. Let's go fly around and do crazy shit. She's like, yeah, let's do this, but also you need to do your chores. You need to do this and that.
It's like they go into the chalk painting or like the chalk world. She's like, you guys are being silly. You're in a chalk world, Mary Poppins. What do you mean? And then like, she denies that like that it ever happened. Like, we saw you win the horse race. She's like, me in a horse race? How dare you insinuate such things? And it's like God, you know, it's like the non-believers and all that. Like, you can't prove it. You can't prove she did these things. No one's gonna believe you.
I like the bit where Mr. Banks is like, explain yourself, and she's like, one thing I'll tell you is I never explain anything.
I like that.
That was great, yeah.
She's a power move.
Godlike. Never explains anything. Those gods, them god figures, they're just there. And she was kind of just there. She was like, yeah, I'm just here. You got this room? It's all right, I guess. It's no Buckingham Palace, but I don't know. You just moved into these people's houses and just like, here's your room. And you just the fucking audacity to be like, that's not much, is it?
Yeah, that's true.
I found it to be quite Alice in Wonderlandy. A lot of it. Like, here's a thing that I can do, and then like they just go on like this insane fucking adventure, and it's like, what the fuck just happened there? And they even say like when Mr. Banks goes into the bank at the end, he leaves, and they discharge him in like the most weird way. Like they punch a hole through his hat, and they take the flower off of his lapel.
Oh, they like
there you go. Mad as a March hare, that one, they say. I'm like, that's like Alice in Wonderland. I do think it was kind of going for that sort of thing. It's just like, it's very dreamlike in the way it captures things, which I'm so in awe of, because it is live action, and that is something you're more acquainted to, at least when it comes to Disney in animation. But the fact that they were able to do it and capture it so well in live action is very, very commendable to me.
Because I feel like it's quite difficult to show this much animation without having the fluidity of actual animation, if that makes sense. That's probably one of the other things that I quite liked about it, was that they just managed to actually do that, because you could do that and do it really badly, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But I do think they pull it off. They pull it off very, very well. Thanks, guys. Yeah. I think the step. I know you guys don't like the fucking Step in Time song. I do like it, but
the dance was cool.
The choreography was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was really cool.
What the fuck are they doing? It like reminded me of Singing in the Rain with like Donald O'Connor's Make Him Laugh thing, where he like broke his body or something.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
how do they not do
yeah.
that? They're like running around. It's crazy. All the synchronization. I think they have to do that twice. There was like a fuck up on the film. Like, do it again. Imagine having to do all that again just because something like that fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh god, that is kind of like a Singing in the Rain type situation.
Yeah, and that's why shooting on digital is the way to go, I guess.
Yeah, shoot on digital and you'll never go wrong.
You got anything else to add? I don't really have any
literally
notes.
Nothing.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, I don't know. I just think a lot from its themes, and I think it's like saying stuff about money and like power and greed, and trying to get you to think about what's really important in life. And it's a big family movie, I think. But
Yeah, definitely.
there's a lot you can take from it, and I think like, as a kid you're like more in awe with the all the spectacle of it, but as an adult, I suppose I'm more in awe of what it's trying to tell me about like, I guess like capitalism in a sort of way, or like the kind of work life balance and mindset and all that, and just trying to spend more time with like the people you love, because it'll burn you out if you focus too much on one thing. It's like yeah, maybe you should think about like, your family for a bit. Maybe you should go home and like go fly a kite. That's just something.
Yeah.
It's like what's so practical about flying a kite? Serves no fucking purpose. And he doesn't say fucking, but there's no fucking purpose, Mary Poppins. And but it's like you need that to have a life and like have something that's worth fucking living. Otherwise, it's like what, you just like go to work at a bank and it's like, oh, okay, I'm a capitalist and I'm doing work, and it's like, oh, okay, and I go home and then nothing happens and I don't even see my kids. So, oh, how sad. Yeah, I guess we could finish it off. Yeah, I do think it's like it's one of those movies, and I think like most people do really like it. I don't think I'm in the minority.
No,
I
you're
think
not.
you guys are in the minority, and I think you're fucking wrong.
I
and
like
you're
it.
wrong.
I know we're in the minority, but I mean,
You don't like it enough.
I wasn't quite in that category of that review I sent over that was like,
Mhm.
fuck this film, fuck Mary Poppins.
There
fuck
were a
load
lot of
shit.
those.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, people
I don't
really don't like this
really-
movie.
I don't really get that, but I also don't
I
love it.
saw
I'm
loads
somewhere
of
in between
reviews
them.
from people who were like, fuck this movie, I watched it as a kid and I fucking hated it and all
And I
this.
hate it now.
This ain't so great, actually.
I don't think it's that bad. I don't know what film
Yeah.
they were watching. It's not that bad.
It got me going, you know. I was like, oh my god. Fucking hell. I just like, find it so sad, like, that they're losing faith in their father. Like, that's not something you should have to go through as a kid. It's like, they say like their father doesn't even like them, and it's like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah, that was sad.
It's so upsetting, and like, I just, oh god. Like when Michael gives him back the tuppence, he's like, here father, you can have the tuppence, will that make everything alright? I was like, oh, fucking hell, man. No. Oh my god, I can't believe it got me like that. I was like, oh fuck. Yeah, it's so fucking good. It's really brilliant. We'll go on to ratings then. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is duh.
Darcy isn't even anywhere near her microphone, so I don't know if anyone heard.
She called me a fuckhead, and she put both her middle fingers up at me.
And then did a
I didn't-
backflip.
I definitely did at least two of those things.
Yeah. What are we rating it out of again, sorry?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is.
Okay.
You don't remember that? That's fucking iconic. Oh my
Yeah.
god. What do you mean? That's one of the big things from this movie. Is like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is
I just got distracted by Darcy not being on the mic,
It's
so
a
I
word to say when you don't know what to say at all.
Yeah.
She was right. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, it works. He's
Yeah,
going
this-
insane at the bank. Oh, it's so fun.
This is a good movie. I did enjoy it. Like I said, I think it's a little bit too long here and there, but like Darcy already said, that could literally just be because of the circumstances and environment we watched it in. Maybe if I watched it again in the future, I'd enjoy it a bit more. But I don't know. I think for now, I'd give it like 7 supercalifragilisticexpialidociouses out of 10.
Yeah. Nice. And you know what? They also got some shit in there about the suffragette movement. Like, how did you do that? How did you manage that with the mum? And she's like, she was fantastic. Just like going out, like, yeah, I'm going out. We're all going to Downing Street to throw things at the Prime Minister. And like, she was like so excited that all her friends were like getting arrested because like they're fighting for the right cause. It's like, oh, it's so good. It's so much fun. Loved it. I make it a point to never give references, a very old-fashioned idea in my mind. That was fun. Like, a lot of like poking fun at like the old ways and like giving way to the new and just trying to experience life to its fullest. And you know, Mary Poppins was like a character who like oh man, you'd think if I've fell in love with all these kids, it's like then what would happen to me, huh? They would think about that, and they were like, she's right though. And I like that they kind of don't. There's like a history behind like her and Bert, but like they don't really go into it. So I think like. I don't know, I got the feeling that, like, she looked after him as a kid. Maybe.
Yeah,
It might
maybe.
be. But I know that they didn't want there to be any like sexual tension between those two. I think they pulled that off. That's fine. Yeah, love it so much. I'll give it. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna give it 10 supercalifragilisticexpialidocious out of 10. Thanks, love it.
I think I've said my piece on it. 5.5 supercalifragilistic out of 10.
Didn't
that
even
was just
try.
a fucking cop out. Like, you didn't even try, Darcy, and that's just really not supercalifragilisticexpialidocious of you. Honestly.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah. It's the great Space Jam movie before Space Jam. Space Jam perfected it. This was like a trial run for Space Jam.
Every movie was.
Every movie pre-Space Jam was a trial run for Space Jam.
We live in the pre and post Space Jam age.
You think it's BC and AD? No. It's BSJ and ASJ.
Yeah.
Cool. That's that. 3 movies from Disney, a wonderful corporation that we all love. Next episode, we've got a little thing to do, but before that, we've got 2 episodes time. We're doing another show. In episode 45, we do season 1 of a show. We're going to spin a wheel that tells us what show we're going to watch. It might be terrible, but it might be awesome, and it might just be yeah, that was alright, I guess. 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, who knows? But yeah, we're going to spin the wheel. It'll tell us what that show is.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it'll be anything unlike High School Musical, the show, the movie, the... No noises today, Chris?
No noise?
No, sorry, I turned it off. Let's come up with the show Barry.
Barry?
Yeah. Let me see where you can watch that. Quick.
Cool.
Okay.
So we're going to do season 1 of Barry.
What the fuck is
That's
Barry?
if we can watch it anyway.
You can watch it. Why wouldn't we be able to watch it if it's on the list?
Yeah,
Like,
I thought
it's just
we
like-
only updated the list to have things that we could stream.
Yeah.
That's what I
Pretty
thought we did.
Yeah, it's on Now TV apparently.
Also,
yeah.
what the fuck is Barry?
This is
Just a
Barry.
quick sentence. I just want to know what it is.
It's like
One with
I think it's like
Bill
a
Hader in it.
crime comedy
yeah,
show.
crime comedy with
Bill
Bill
Oh,
Hader,
okay.
I think.
I don't really know
I've heard-
much about it, but I've heard it's a show that gets better and better as it goes on.
We'll see. We'll see about
Okay.
that in 2 episodes' time. Season 1 of Barry. But now we're going to do the one for next week. It's going to tell us what we're going to watch next week, what marathon we're going to do, and we all get to do it together again. It's we've
different,
been
you know?
apart for so long. What's going to be the one that's going to bring us back in?
I've turned the sound on now, so you
Come on,
guys
Great.
can see
I
it.
want to hit the wheel. It's that sound.
It's come up with Night at the Museum.
Night at the Museum is the one that's going to bring us back.
I didn't even know they had 3 movies.
I do 3
Yeah.
Night at the Museum movies.
Yeah, there were. The
Great.
3rd one was the last movie that Robin Williams was ever in.
Brilliant. So that's that. Whew. That'll be great. Episode 84, Night at the Museum trilogy. That's that. Social media, it's out there. Go find it. What do you want me to tell them for you for? I've said it a million times. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
Any last words?
Deep sigh.
I'm going to try that Disney whistle again. What was it? I've already forgotten when Mickey goes like... Oh my god. I'm going to try it, and the episode is not ending until I've got it down.
Got what done? You still trying to whistle
It's not
from the
even funny.
beginning?
Why is it? Why am I laughing? Steamboat Willie could do it. How did they do it back in the day? Could people just whistle? I'm like, why could I not whistle anymore? You laughed. That was you that time, Darcy. All right, you put me off my game. Put me
hold
off.
on. He did it! Yay! There is no participation from Chris in this clap.
See you.